Welcome to another Lunch and Learn session from Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers. Today, we're going to be talking about smoking cessation. This is the process of quitting smoking tobacco and other nicotine products. We hope you find this session not only educational to learn about the facts and harmful side effects of smoking tobacco, but also get some really good ideas in order to develop a successful quitting plan or to support a loved one in quitting. A bad habit you can change, but an addiction overrides your sense of judgment, and addiction tells you that no matter what, you need this substance. I think this is a really good quote to remember because often we tell people, quit smoking, it's so disgusting, or quit smoking, it's so bad for you. We make it sound so easy, but it's not. It's an addiction that grabs a hold of your body, affects you emotionally, physically, socially. And it takes more than just saying, I'm going to quit for most people in order to be successful. So we want to really provide some education today, but also really give you some solid tips and advice and tools to be successful, because it is in your best interest not to smoke tobacco, but we know it's not easy, and we're going to acknowledge that. So here's some quick facts about the reality of smoking tobacco and using nicotine and how it affects your body. Cigarette smoking remains the leading cause of preventable disease, disability, and death in the United States. More than 480,000 deaths annually occur because of the use of smoking cigarettes. This is more than 10 times as many U.S. citizens have died prematurely from cigarette smoking than have died in all the wars fought by the United States. Smoking causes about 90% of all lung cancer deaths. Smoking causes about 80% of all deaths from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, also known as COPD. Smoking cigarettes increases the risk for death from all causes in men and women. The risk of dying from cigarette smoking has increased over the last 50 years in the United States. An estimated 34.1 million adults in the United States currently smoke cigarettes. 16 million Americans live with a smoking-related disease. It does tend to be more prevalent with males and older adults. So why should you quit? There are immediate results for your body, immediate positive results. And we want to kind of show exactly how fast quitting smoking can help you, and the way in which it affects your body is also how you can see the improvement. So in just 20 minutes of no smoking cigarettes, so just going 20 minutes without smoking any tobacco, your blood pressure and heart rate return to normal. After 8 hours of no smoking, oxygen levels return to normal. Nicotine and carbon monoxide levels are reduced by half within your body. After a full 24 hours, carbon monoxide is eliminated from the body. Lungs begin to eliminate mucus and debris. This is important to note. A lot of people begin to cough up phlegm and have a lot of excess mucus. This is normal. This is your lungs saying, all right, let's get the bad stuff out. And so it's their way of kind of purging that debris from your body. After 48 hours, nicotine is eliminated from the body. Your senses of taste and smell improve. Many people don't realize, but smoking tobacco actually impairs your sense of taste and affects your smell. After 72 hours without smoking any cigarettes, breathing becomes easier, bronchial tubes relax, and energy levels rise. Over the next 2 to 12 weeks, circulation in your body improves. And over 3 to 9 months, lung function improves by 10%. Coughing and wheezing are reduced. And after a full year of no cigarettes, no smoking tobacco, heart attack risk is decreased by 50%. Need a little bit more facts to kind of help get you motivated to quit? Here's just a few more we want to share. Quitting smoking cuts cardiovascular risk. Just 1 year after quitting smoking, your risk for a heart attack drops sharply. Within 2 to 5 years after quitting smoking, your risk for stroke may reduce to about half of that of a non-smoker's. And at the end of that 5 years, your risk for stroke may reduce to the equivalent of a non-smoker. If you quit smoking, your risk for cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, and bladder drop by half within 5 years. 10 years after you quit smoking, your risk for dying from lung cancer drops by half. There are 3 linked chains of tobacco dependence. They're also known as the elements of wellness. The first one is social. This is like cultural, like where you live, who you're around, influences. Mental, this is your psychological, cognitive, spiritual, emotional, and physical. Some physical factors of withdrawal symptoms include irritability, frustration, or anger. Many loved ones and friends around us, or even coworkers, might notice that you get a little moody, or you're a little easily kind of set off or snapping. It's important to kind of recognize this behavior and try to curb it, but be aware that it is a possibility it's going to happen. Some people also experience increased anxiety, difficulty concentrating, increased appetite. In fact, a lot of people say that when they quit smoking, they tend to gain weight. And we're going to go over some tips to help you with that, because one of the things that's triggered from is putting something in your mouth. You're used to putting a cigarette in your mouth, and when you don't have a cigarette, people tend to put food in there. And so we're going to give you some advice on things you can do besides food to kind of get that hand to mouth sensation without it being a cigarette. They can feel restlessness, depressed mood, insomnia, struggling to sleep. These may appear within hours of the last use of tobacco. Symptoms are generally most severe within the first 2 weeks. They may continue for months or even years. Mental things that people might notice: they might feel more stress. They might begin to feel lonely, feel bored, feel angry, depressed, experience physical pain, or a sense of anxiousness. On the elements of wellness, the third category is our social category. These are influences that we have for using tobacco. Sometimes when we're talking on the phone, putting on makeup, driving in a car, watching TV, waiting for a bus, after we've watched a movie, having a cup of coffee in the morning, after eating a meal, reading, socializing, or taking a break at work. These are all some activities that people tend to associate with smoking cigarettes. Tobacco may be a part of identifying with a group or a regular part of social activities or cultural practices. And these activities can become triggers when a person is quitting tobacco. This is really important to think about for yourself. Is what are those social influences, and what are those triggers for you? When do you tend to watch TV and then to go smoke a cigarette, for example? It's a good idea to start off by writing down a list of all the times when you smoke, all the different activities, and all the different people that you smoke with. Maybe you only smoke with people at work. Maybe you have a roommate or a partner at home that you smoke with. This is all going to be very helpful information when you develop your plan to quit. And that's what we're going to talk about now. How do you do it, and how do you be successful? So we're going to give you a toolbox of information and resources and tips and advice and everything you need to be ready. But the first thing I'm going to tell you is don't say I'm going to quit smoking today without doing the preparation work. You want to get your toolbox and your communication plan ready. So pick a date about 2 weeks out from when you decide I'm going to quit. Tell all your family, friends, coworkers, roommates, everyone around you in your social circles that you're going to be quitting, what your date is, and ask them to support you. If there are people that you normally smoke with, say, please don't ask me to go on a smoke break with you. Or please don't get mad if for the first few weeks I don't eat lunch with you, because normally when we eat lunch, then we go smoke. And I need to kind of change my behavior if I want to be successful in quitting this. Anticipate some of those challenges. So go back and think to the physical things that may happen through withdrawal. What kind of things can you do to deal with mood swings? A good piece of advice is to ask a really good friend you're around, or coworker or family member, and say, let me know when I'm being a little bit moody. Please understand, I might be irritable and I might get frustrated. It's not personal. I'm going to be going through some physical withdrawals because I have an addiction to tobacco. But it's not okay that I treat anybody badly. So please let me know if I'm exhibiting any of those behaviors. For anxiety, we're going to talk about tactile activities and some things you can use to kind of release that anxiety and that pressure. If you're having trouble concentrating or feeling restless or even feeling a little depressed, get up and go for a walk outside. Breathe some fresh air, move. Do a 30-second dance off if you have to. Pick your favorite song and just move and change that focus of wanting to go have a cigarette or concentrating on your withdrawal symptoms and how you feel. For the appetite and increased appetite and having that hand-to-mouth loss of behavior, consider chewing gum. And also, they make flavored toothpicks that are either mint flavored or have tea tree, both of which are really, really good for kind of chewing on or having in your mouth, and good for helping with that addiction and replacing that cigarette to mouth behavior with something that's more healthy. Learn about sleep and what are good ways to combat insomnia. Maybe consider reducing the temperature in your room at night and keeping it cooler, avoiding all electronics before bedtime, using blackout curtains. Just create like a better sleep environment and routine and schedule. We also have videos on our Ironwood YouTube page that Dr. Heidi Rula created that can help you develop a successful and healthy hygiene for sleep time. So take a look at those, be prepared for mental kind of wellness and improving that and being ready to quit as part of your plan. Maybe plan some activities. Maybe plan lunch with people that don't smoke. Ask people that maybe you don't normally spend time with or haven't spent time with in a long time, or family members, to kind of be social. You want to keep yourself from becoming isolated and feeling depressed or anxious and focusing on the withdrawal symptoms. You want to change that focus, and it'll also help reduce that desire to grab a cigarette and stop the withdrawal feelings. Social influences, again, write down all the things that you do that lead to having a cigarette, and try to look at your schedule and your daily routine and how you can change that. So if in the morning after you have a cup of coffee and your breakfast, you have a cigarette, maybe that's when you go do a 5-minute yoga class on YouTube, or start laundry, or do some other like physical movement activity that distracts you. Don't go to the place where you would normally smoke a cigarette. So if you used to sit on the patio after having your breakfast and coffee, maybe don't go sit on the patio. But if you want to get that sunshine and vitamin D, go for a little walk, even if it's just 2-minute walk, just to kind of replace that time and that activity. Think of all the ways that you can overcome that. Look into medication information. We're going to talk about the ASH line and all the different medical ways that you can support quitting smoking, and also, dealing with those withdrawal symptoms. Obtain some self-help material and get information about hotlines to intensive services and the peer support lines so that you're ready. Don't wait until you absolutely need it. Have it in advance, put it together. Again, I want you to create this toolbox, literally and mentally, to be prepared. Remove all tobacco products from your house and work environments the day you're going to stop quitting. or the day you're going to stop smoking. You're always going to keep trying to quit, but you're going to stop smoking. This includes cigarette lighters and anything else related to smoking, ashtrays. Get rid of them and throw them out, and take your garbage to the dumpster, or put your garbage on the curb. Whatever it needs, but don't make it accessible, because if you get desperate, we don't want you reaching in the garbage and pulling something out. You might even consider counseling to address stress and urges that may arise. For some people, they have tried to quit smoking, and it's not easy. So they might need some professional assistance, and that is okay. You are not alone in this process. As many people that are smoking, there's many people who are trying to quit smoke, and you can get that support and that peer support available to you. Medical cessation aids include the NRTs, the nicotine replacement therapies. They deliver small amounts of nicotine to the body, different ways than cigarettes, in lower amounts, different routes. These result in a slower delivery of nicotine and in lower nicotine levels in the bloodstream. It's not going to give you the same feeling as smoking. They're not meant to replace smoking. These are things such as the patch or gum or lozenges, or there's even some prescription pills. These are meant to help you transition out of smoking and out of having nicotine in your body. So this isn't something that should be used forever, but sometimes people need this in the interim as they first begin. Here's some more tips to prevent relapse. Congratulate success, no matter how brief. If you're one day free of cigarette smoking, celebrate it. Tell everybody. 1 week, 1 month, 1 hour, every little amount of time is important, and celebrate that and share that. Go over all those benefits of quitting that we talked about. You know, the benefit of 20 minutes and you're breathing better, the nicotine leaving your body, carbon monoxide leaving your body, breathing better, getting rid of that mucus. Remember, when you're coughing up the mucus when you've quit smoking, that's a good sign. Your lungs are joining in the fight to stay healthy. Avoid any situations that you've identified as triggers and alter kind of your routes or daily routine for as long as you need. We hope that you don't have to give up people in your life forever, but especially during those first few weeks and first few months, it's so important. Use some alternatives like the toothpicks I talked about, or maybe try chewing gum or candy, hard candies. Eat something crunchy like carrots or celery sticks. You can walk around with a little bag of them, and when you get that urge to have a cigarette in your mouth, grab one of those mini carrots and just start chewing away. Call a friend, tell them you're struggling, tell them you're having a moment, you need a pep talk. Keep your hands busy. Do gardening, clean the house. I also like to suggest Play-Doh or stress balls or even Legos. These are tactile activities. They're really good, and they're used with addiction, keeping your hands busy and channeling that anxious energy out of your body, through your arms, out your hands, and into the Play-Doh or the stress ball is such a helpful way to kind of reduce that feeling of tension that kind of is created. And that's something that a lot of people that go through withdrawal say that they experience. You also kind of want to focus your brain on something else. Don't focus on the fact of how you feel and those withdrawal symptoms and that you want a cigarette. Focus on building an amazing, 2-foot Lego tower, one piece at a time, and then taking it apart one piece at a time. There's also coin sorting, where you can take a big bowl of coins and loose change and sort them by pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and then put them all back. You can also buy big bags of colored beads at the craft store and sort them by color and type. It's just about changing what your brain is thinking about onto something else and using your hands to kind of release that energy. Tell yourself, I am doing great. I can do without this cigarette. One cigarette can hurt. This feeling is a signal that I need to use a coping technique now. Make sure to give yourself some grace. Quitting is hard. Fighting an addiction is so much harder than people realize. And every little moment that you go without smoking is a success. and do everything you can to avoid it. Drink some more water, do some deep breathing exercises. I also like progressive muscle relaxation. You can find a lot of these videos online, and do those tactile activities to busy your mind and your hands. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. I just love this quote. And if you or anyone you love is trying to quit smoking and they need a little bit of extra help, please don't hesitate to reach out to social work at Ironwood. We want to be here to support your wellness. And you can reach us by contacting us via email at wellness@ironwoodcrc.com. Again, that's wellness, WELLNESS, @ironwoodcrc.com, or by calling us at 480-314-6660. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our other educational videos available on our website. And take care. Bye-bye.